Thank you, Vice Chair. I have enjoyed working with you, and it is. I wish you all the best moving forward. So we have quite a bit in the director's report. I'm not going to read it or reiterate it, but just point out the topics. We are working to update the problem gambling signage that is required in all licensed locations, and we are working together with Evergreen Council on Problem Gambling to update that signage. So I'm very excited about that as we kind of slow to get started, but we'll get there. Indian Gaming Association trade show we attended with Commissioner Lawson, staff attended, and so had a great opportunity to meet with quite a few vendors and learn about current trends with the equipment vendors and other topics in the gaming industry. I do want to point out a little bit more about where we're at with our modernization project, because that is a big issue for our agency and the thing that is taking up a great deal of staff time. So we are celebrating our first success in this project. We have completed our business requirements gathering process. It has been about a year. Actually, I think it's been a year since we started. We started in April of 23, and we had to turn up the heat a little bit from August to December, where staff was dedicating 16 hours a week towards that endeavor, but we have completed that. We did lose a little bit of time in our project timeline in the procurement process. The state was navigating a change in their procurement process, but we have now procured the services of a quality assurance reviewer, which is the necessary step since we are an OCIO, soon to be called WATEC oversight project. And so they will start updating our 2020 readiness assessment, which is the next formal requirement before we can move on to actually starting to contract for acquisition and implementation. But there's a lot of work to be done in the meantime. Again, wanting to make sure that we celebrate success of all of the staff work that has gone into this project thus far. So over the next few months, in the summer months, we anticipate going through this quality assurance review for a readiness assessment. That's going to take about 4 weeks, hopefully not more than that. So we will be working a lot with that QA reviewer. In the meantime, we're scheduling demos with vendors from the state contract. So if we are able to find a product or an implementer that meets our needs from the state contract, that would prevent us from having to go out for an RFP, which would save us a great deal of time. There are a few other requirements that we need to address for OCIO before we can actually enter into a contract for acquisition and implementation. Our end goal is to hopefully have contractors on board and ready for development by September 1. So we are working diligently to meet that goal. In the meantime, we have procured a records management system, which is a necessary component. Simultaneous projects, kind of hard, but it is necessary to have a records management system because of our antiquated IT systems. And so this is going to be a component whether we wanted to or not as we upgrade into, a cloud-based server. So that project is just getting started. It's going to take about 6 to 8 months of staff time to convert our paper records, our license files, electronic records, all of those legacy IT records, et cetera, into the new RMS system. But again, it's necessary for IT modernization project. So that's just a brief update of what's happening at the agency. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments for Director Griffin? I see Senator Conway has your hand up, I think.
Yes, I just have a question, Tina, about the evaluation process. I sit on another committee where they actually evaluate the performance in comparing other states. In other words, this is the retirement system where we actually have an outside evaluator come in and evaluate our performance against the performance of other entities like the retirement system. I'm wondering, is that happening with the Gambling Commission, or is the person doing the evaluation internal to the state of Washington?
We selected the quality assurance reviewers from DES's state contract list. So they are not employees of Washington State.
But they are state-based.
They met all the.
I think our state is unique in having so many recognized tribes as well. So I know that it's a challenge here. But I'm hoping that in this process, maybe they can kind of look at our state as it compares to our Gambling Commission as it compares to the performance of other states as well. So thank you.
And maybe I might need to clarify that the quality assurance review is a readiness assessment to determine the agency's culture and readiness to embark on updating our IT systems. Mm-hmm. It's not to compare our agency to other agencies. It is just, it's my understanding OCIO has found that that this is a requirement because if an agency is not, in terms of their staff, budget, time, organizational change management, leadership, if any of those components are not in a state of mind that is ready to embrace a change into a new computer system, software, whatever it may be, it makes implementation challenging. And that's where OCIO wants to know, so we can, and even the agency, right? So based on their findings, we have to give an agency response to how we're correcting any areas that they have concern in before we are allowed to move forward with hiring someone to through acquisition and implementation of a very expensive project.
Thank you.